Hey there, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to our show. It's called Tournament Horse Racing. Here's what we've done. Oh, excuse me. My name is Rich Sharp, and I will be your host for tonight's activities. Here's what we've done. We've taken the horse racing calendar, we've broken it up into four separate horse racing tournaments throughout the year, and each one of those tournaments consists of 10 individual racing days, and that's what you're watching tonight is one of the individual racing days, and that consists of a four-race sequence. Each of our horse players is going to be making a mythical $2 win place bet in each one of those four races. Simply put, whoever wins the most money wins that tournament for the day. We keep track of the money all the way through those 10 individual racing days, and whoever wins the most money at the end of the individual racing days, that's the winner of our tournament. That's how it works. We keep track throughout the entire year. We've even got a year-end winner. That's enough about the tournament. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our horse players in no particular order. Just a little bit to the south of me, he lives here in Temecula, California. He's an old friend of mine. Joe English, what's going on, my friend?
Well, I didn't hit the Mega Millions because I don't live in Florida. So other than that, pretty much the status quo. How you guys?
Not too bad, considering that one of the California jackpot for millions was paid out from a store that was in Murrieta, California.
Oh,
Yeah. Speaking of Murrieta, but just a little bit to the north of me, actually, he's in Menifee, California, and that's another good friend of mine. He's our horse player, Steve. How's it going, buddy? Steve
Not
Newsom,
too
excuse me. How's it going?
not too bad. Not too bad. I didn't win the lottery either.
Yeah, no, that's why you're here,
Well,
among other reasons.
oh, I'd still be here.
Oh, you'd be here gloating, man. There'd be stacks. There'd be,
He'd show the ticket.
yeah,
He'd
exactly.
get it all.
No, I don't think I would.
Some kind of a Seahawk touchdown dance.
I'd keep it real quiet. I'd have a big ass smile on my face. So
Unfortunately, Steve, you can't in California. You can't. The law says that you have to.
They have to advertise you and yeah, make you a
yeah.
national store. All right, finally, all the way across the country, he lives in Staten Island, New York. Another old friend of mine, uh, Ray Torado. How is life treating you out on the East Coast?
well, if I did win, my taxes would be very high too. So I wouldn't get much. I get half maybe. But I did have the ball at the end, so that pays $2. So there's
Nice.
my two
Hey, look
dollars.
at that.
My
Look at that.
Oh, there you
refund
go. There you go.
of hitting the mega ball, Powerball, one
Hey,
ball.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's all I got.
Somehow, I don't think any of us would mind paying that tax.
No, of course not.
No,
No.
no, no, no.
And I wouldn't increase my expenditures. I just live life like I am, and it lasts longer too. The money.
All right, folks. Well, you've met the players. That's how our game works. Just a disclaimer before we get into this. Tournament horse racing. Joe, Ray, Steve, and myself, we are all just horse players. We love the game of horse racing. We get together on a weekly basis really to keep the game alive for ourselves. We are in no way, shape, or form selling our picks or even endorsing our picks that you'll hear about tonight. We are all just horse players who love the game. We hope you do too. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. You know what? Before I get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit because we're heading to a brand new track this week, and I've been told I should be trying to do something like that. It's Colonial Downs. It's a racetrack that's located in New Kent County, Virginia. It is halfway between Richmond and Williamsburg, and the track conducted thoroughbred flat racing, standardbred harness racing between 1997 and 2014. It reopened for thoroughbreds in 2019. It is owned and operated by Churchill Downs Incorporated, which explains why we're doing the Arlington Million here at Colonial Downs instead of at Churchill Downs. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you. I'll take you through what happened last week. And as you can see there was my little cheat sheet on Colonial Downs. Sounds like a fun track for us. First, we'll take a look at. Let me go ahead and switch my screen
Man,
up for you here. Yeah, exactly. Before last week, we had a record. Steve last week set a record for us. The previous week, I did have the advantage of an extra race. So let's handicap this correctly. I believe Steve still has the record for our normal four race sequence, but we did stick an extra race in last week. That was the fifth race because it was such a juicy card there at Saratoga. And as you can see, for a dollar amount, then I did actually set a new record for us this week. But again, had five races as opposed to four. Still like to think that Babe Ruth over Hank Aaron. Anyway, uh, if you want,
asterisk.
we're going to go ahead and take a look over here at the summary for the year. You're going to have to put my name in for the Whitney Stakes and the Longines Stakes there at Saratoga. Gives me my first win of this particular tournament and draws me a lot closer. I actually vaulted over Steve and Ray to come into second place, just trailing Joe now by about $8. Nobody's out of this one. This is a high scoring affair this year for the Thunder Handicap. So we've all come out swinging with a couple of records that have been set. Joe's still in first. And I didn't know, Steve, you want to tell us about the weather in New Kent, Virginia for Saturday?
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't look it up, but you got it right there. So looks like we're looking at
Mm.
Looks
high
perfect.
80s.
Yeah,
Slight chance of rain.
looks perfect, right? Looks like a
Get the
perfect.
sunblock.
Yeah, it's a perfect day of racing. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and bring up our racing form. And again, I will go ahead and give us our advertisement here for the people who provide this for us. It comes to you via brisnet.com. It's called the Handicapper's Edge. Obviously, you can download these forms at brisnet.com by signing up for a member subscription. It is also available for free if you use some of the gambling websites that are out there. Specifically, I use twinspires.com, and if you log in via twinspires.com, you can get this particular racing form as long as you agree to go ahead and bet on as much as just a single race, even if you'd like, at that particular racetrack. And they give that this race form to you for free. So here we go. We're going to start off with race number 8 there at Colonial Downs in New Kent, Virginia. They're going 1 mile on the inner turf. It is the Secretariat Stakes, a grade 2. Purse is $500,000. It's for 3-year-olds only. And your morning line favorite is in post number 3. I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this one correctly. Nagarok, trained by Graham Motion and ridden by Flavian Pratt, is 5-2 on the Colonial Downs morning line. And since we set this tradition last week with Steve going first, since he set the record, I will go ahead and kick this one off for us here in race number 8. And I believe I am all the way up here in, yeah. Big surprise again, right, guys? So I'm in post number 1. I like Charlie Appleby and Jamie Spencer, kind of an invader. He actually has disappointed me. I've bet him both times on this show. So we actually handicap both these days at Belmont. So I have picked him both times. He has disappointed me both times. Hasn't even gotten me any money so far. So I'm going to go with third time's the charm for yet again a Godolphin horse trained by Charlie Appleby. He came over with some bona fides, right? He was 3 for 9 in his lifetime. Had spent some time here in the U.S. there at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. That was at Keeneland last year. That was a grade 1, and he finished second just by a nose. I certainly thought he would perform better than this, considering the bloodline and the connections. And I'm hoping that the third time is the charm. I thought this was a very difficult race, and you're actually going to hear me say that quite a bit tonight. I think it's a very difficult race. I'm going to hand it off to Steve, and Steve, you'll be passing to Ray, and Ray, Joe's going to carry the final baton there.
All right, I'm going with the favorite here. I'm going with Nagarok. Grand Motion, Flavian Pratt. They won a few races together. They're 25% 4 races. Horses won at the distance, and also 3, 2, and 3 in 8 races on turf. Yeah, just strung together a few good races here, and I think be a tough horse to beat. So I'm going to go with the 3 Nagarok. Ray?
Yeah, which is like you said, it's a very, very contentious race.
God, I tell you,
Um, 3-year-olds, they're developing, they're on turf for the great Secretariat. They named the race for him. They should name a grade 1 race at 2 miles for him. um, I went with number 6, Major Dude. This horse has been knocking on the doors in the stake races. There's a lot of races that we've been done on the show, like the Dana Beach, the
mm-hmm.
American Turf, the Penn Mile. I think we did the Manila also. But you know, he had a good race. I mean, on synthetic, he finished second to 2 Phils, who actually was a major player in the Derby. So these are 3-year-olds, and I always feel that they always take turns beating each other. Everybody has their day in the sun. This horse been knocking on the door. Last race, kind of had a little trouble. He was the favorite. He's been getting support, of course, because he's had IRAD. So I'm glad that Gaffalone go jumps aboard, at least to get me a little better price. He may fall under the radar, but you know, he's been. I think he's gonna have a run a decent pace, and hopefully, beat somebody. This is a like I said, a very good race, and they're all evenly matched. It's just a matter of who gets the right trip, the right pace. So I'm going for a little price here, 6-1. So I'll go with Major Dude, top clutcher. Always seems to put his horses in good positions to to do well. So Joe,
Yeah, it is a tough race, and the fact that Irad and Joel Rosario and Zay Ortiz, and I'm sure there are others, can't really remember off the top of my head,
yeah,
but they're probably sticking up at Saratoga. I know they're running Dave up there. Uh, so it's a very interesting race jockey wise because you're like Ray was talking about with Major Dude, you're getting Tyler Gaffleone
Yeah.
instead of Irad Ortiz on a horse that Irad's ridden almost forever. Um, I don't agree with Ray about the pace of this race. I actually think there's a lone speed here. I'm going to take him. Give me the 4, Mustache. He shows that he's always out in front. Uh, he's going to be on the lead. I don't see any reason why Florent Giroux is going to take him back all of a sudden. Cuts back to a mile from a mile and a 16th. And he's getting caught late in those races. I like Florent Giroux, who's probably a little bit less aggressive than Luis Saez in the saddle, so maybe he'll save a little bit more. He'll run a little bit slower pace on a mile, and maybe he can finish faster. He's got a couple of solid bullet works since the last race, and I think I'm going to get the 5-1 morning line, if not more than that. Somehow, I think the Northern Invaders got a lot of hype because of his one turf race. Cherie DeVaux has 2 in here, and we already talked about Major Dude and the Godolphin horse on the rail, Silver Knot, and the favorite, of course, Nagarok. So I think I'm going to get at least 5-1 with Mustache. So I'll try to see if we can get him wire this field for Victoria Oliver and Florent Giroux. Give me 5-1 on the 4.
Okay. Clear that and clear this. We'll clear the weather. Come right back to our ranks here, and we're going to go with 8, 9, 10, and 11 are the 4 races that we're doing. And got the 4, the 6, the 3, and the 1. And we'll move to our second leg of our pick 4 sequence here, and this is race number 9. They're going a mile and 3/16. This is on the outer turf. It is the Beverly D Stakes, a grade 1, purse is $500,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Your morning line favorite is right here in post number 1. I believe it's Fev Rover, and trained by Mark Casse and ridden by Javier Castellano, just 2-1. They're on the Colonial Downs morning line. And Steve, you're going to bat lead off for us.
Yeah, I'm going with the 5, Didia. Chaminade and Correas, they've hooked up together 17 times, 18%. The jockey's been riding this horse for the last 2 years. Won every race except for the last one out, the grade 1 in New York. Horse is 2-0 he's got 2 wins undefeated here at Colonial Downs. 2-1-0 in 3 races at the distance, and has won 8 races out of 10 on the turf. So I like his chances, and or like your chances, and yeah, I'm going with the 5 here, Didia. Ray?
yeah, stay right there. I'm on the same horse. She looks like she's like a winning machine. 8 out of 12. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
same thing what Steve says. I think the cutback in distance might actually help her. I mean, she just missed in the New York handicap, 1 1/4, so she got a little,
Yeah.
taste of going a little further. So, she looks like she's like more of a middle distance, mile 216, mile to quarter, mile and eight. But this race should suit her well. She just got beat last time by the Chad Brown's market segmentation for Cloudrich, and just one of those races where you know they do very well at Belmont, and they're a tough outfit to beat overall. So, but Didier ran her race, just missed by 3/4 of a length. Like the comments said she was answering the gate, so maybe that took a little energy out of her. So, just wasn't her day, But she got a good taste out of a grade one, and she's back to the grade one at lesser distance, and hopefully she'll do well. 3-1, second choice. That should be a good price for her. So, Joe.
Diversity is usually fun, but we're not getting it here. Um, I watched her race, and it wasn't her day. If you look at the pace of the race, 50-1, 115-1 for the first
Hmm.
6 furlongs. They came home fast, and the thing is, look at what she did. She came home faster than everybody else in that race. She came home. I want to say it was roughly 23 seconds for the last quarter in a race that was a mile and a quarter. So she just got beat because pace wasn't enough for her on this day. The market segmentation was a wire-to-wire winner. McCulloch ended up running at Saratoga and beat We're Like Goddess. Maybe was it last week or last Sunday? So obviously there was some quality in that race, and I don't see horses. I don't see a lot of horses in here that are as good as she is. This is just my personal opinion, obviously. So I'm on Didia just like the other guys are. I think she's going to get a better pace scenario. At least I hope she gets a better pace scenario. And she may, if there isn't any speed, maybe the rider will get aggressive and be closer up than she's been in the past, trying to avoid the situation that happened in New York last time. So unfortunately, I guess first three of us are all on the same horse. Rich, what do you think?
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the horse that I have as well, or that was the horse one that when I
Not getting a
handicapped.
single.
I came up with the five and I thought I have a backup choice. I usually do because when I see these scenarios pop up, I think, well, you know what, it's time to call the audible and try and move along, and I guess I'll try that here. I will go one horse behind you guys with Flavian Pratt and Chad Brown, so I'm not actually going too far off the reservation, let's be honest. And it's Gina Romantica, who comes off of a series of actually pretty good races. There was a win in a little minor stakes race that was there at Saratoga last year, and then that infamous Belmont at Aqueduct, and finished second by half a length. Then came back and won the QE Cup, which is at Keeneland. There were only 6 horses that were in that one. Joe mentioned this horse while he was handicapping Didia. I believe that is the aforementioned McCulloch, who is a pretty solid horse, and Gina Romantica does have a win over that horse, and then just did not catch consumer spending. I believe Steve had that horse that day, and it helped to trigger his win in the last tournament. So, but I thought Gina Romantica, and out of into mischief, you got Chad Brown, you're getting Flavian Pratt. She was, you guys know, I'm a sucker for a pretty girl that costs a lot of money, and she cost a mere $1 million when she actually came along initially. So. I'll go with the 6, Gina Romantica, with that caveat that, yeah, no, I had the 5 as my top choice as well. Hard not to like that pattern from Diddy. All right. And sorry, I should have had the page set up for us there. And I apologize for the scrolling. Race number 10. It's the third race in our sequence. And this one is going a mile and a quarter. It is on the outer turf. It's the Arlington Million Stakes. It's a grade 1. Purse is, as you can again, $1 million. It was the first $1 million race. And it is for 3-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is in post number 4. And that is Atone, trained by Michael Maker and ridden by Kendrick Carmouche. 7-2 on the Colonial Downs morning line. And that is going to be Ray kicking us off here in the million, buddy.
All right. As you can see, Chad Brown has the van on the way down to down Route
Yeah.
95 with his full stock. Not the full
You got
stock,
the
but most
commuter
of the stock.
trailer with 12 horses.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Exactly.
and they're all gonna run. But I had bet this horse before, and I'm gonna give it a shot again for different reasons. Number 9, Adamo, with Flavor and Pratt, Chad Brown. This horse, they've tried this horse going further, like the Turf Classic and Sword Dance, and I think this horse is probably much a little more keener at a mile and a quarter, a little less because of the pace. The pace should be hopefully fast. This horse has gotten caught with some slow paces, and but it's gonna be a little tough coming off a layoff. I think this horse might run. He ran the Tough Classic last year off a layoff, and Churchill finished third to Santine, who's a damn good horse. But the United Nations is a great one. He's a grade one winner. He won. So like I said before, these horses they always compete hard, and this is a type of race where I think the freshness might help him. He's already 5 years old, and Michael Dubb is a big uh, f- um, person in the game, and just hope he gets a good trip. Flair should be able to be a mid pack and make a run. It's a big field, so that's gonna be a key. I think being in the 9 hole, you can probably see the race and get a good idea what he wants to do. So I'll go to Damo 10-1. Try and light up the board here, and so Joe.
Yeah, this is a really, really. Rich mentioned it earlier. This
Killer
race
race.
is so
It's a tough
difficult.
sequence. Yeah.
It's because I mean, just looking at it, it doesn't seem like there are horses who've been laid off who weren't in good form before they went to the sidelines. There are horses that are just coming back and have had a prep race for this race, and maybe this is the race they were targeting all along with trainer switches and all that other stuff. I'm going to go to the horse that's in form. Give me the horse who ran second in the UN last time out. That's the 8 Catnip. Uh, Brian Hernandez takes over the reins, and that trainer jockey combination from 2022 to 2023 is a 21%. So I'm satisfied with that. Obviously, he's the informed horse. He won a non-winners of 3 back, won the Monmouth Stakes 2 back, and actually had the lead and got run down by therapists in the United Nations last time. So he's the informed horse. He's got a win over the track at Colonial, and I'm going to get 8-1. I think he's going to be close enough to the pace. The speed drew right inside him. The 7 is the horse who's probably going to be on lead, strong quality. So he can probably just break and follow that horse out and sit right off of his heels and make the move when he needs to and hang on. And like I said, I'm going to get 8-1. But this race, this if we were going to single Didia in the last race, this race, and probably both of the other 2 races, the races we spread it. But I'll take the informed horse. Catnip for me. Rich?
Yeah, and I'm not going to switch this time because I'm on the same horse with five Chad Brown options all over the place. Chad Brown, Chad Brown. I'm going with a Michael Stidham horse. The horse is by Kitten's Joy. It was one of the best sires we've seen on the turf, and rest in peace. Susan and John Moore are kind of a very good ownership group that's put together that we've all seen. We've talked about them before on this show. And Joe covered all the handicapping angles, which include the fact that the horse had won 3 in a row coming there into the United Nations, and then was run down by therapist. I'm gonna make sure I say that one correctly. So I'm gonna go with the 8 Catnip and hand it off to Steve.
All right, I'm gonna go with 3 Set Piece.
The defending champ. Yep.
There's a lot of speed in this race, so I'm going to take one of these closers, and Set Piece seems to be doing pretty well, and 7-1-3 on turfs in 22 races. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3 here, Set Piece at 6-1.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get this set for our final race. Going to be a bit of a curveball for the handicappers and for those of you who kind of hung in there with us. Let me go ahead. Let me mark our picks we have here for race number 10. 8, 3, 8. Okay. And then let's take a look at the finale, which is nothing like the first three races. This is race number 11. It's going well. I guess it is a little like them. It's also on the turf. It's going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. It's an optional claiming race. For the purse is $70,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, starter, or Virginia restricted, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $25,000. And your morning line favorite is actually all the way out here. It's in post number 10. And this name is okay, trained by Steve Cooper and ridden by Jonathan Mendoza. 7-2 on the Colonial Downs morning line. And Joe, you're going to lead us off here in this wacky race.
Oh, goody! I wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're starting with me. Okay, I am taking the horse in post number 3. Horse's name is Up to Something. Trainer is Victoria Oliver, who is the trainer of the horse Secretariat Mustache, and the rider is somebody who we are familiar with, Javier Castellano. And it took a lot of digging if you're taking a 20-1 shot. So I mean, in a few seconds here. In turf routes at Colonial Downs, I checked the post position stats on drf.com. Post 7 through 12 are 5 for 103, so a robust 4.8%.
Yeah, I was
figured, well, the outside horses are not doing all that well, and it can't be just because they're all terrible horses. So my guess is inside posts have some kind of advantage. So I went looking there. The trainer jockey combination is they're 2 for 14 over a 5-year period. So at least there's some familiarity. But Victoria Oliver has a stat that I saw in the second start off a layoff, which is what Up to Something is on Saturday. On the turf races, she's 5 for 22. But the thing about that, I mean, it's only 24%, but her ROI is 5.15 for every 2 wages.
Ooh.
And that's fine by me. And then I looked back at one of the races that she ran in race 2 back at Churchill was not only is a 2 lifetime allowance for $127,000. And the winner, Sabalenka, has been trying graded stakes races since that start. She really hasn't had much success. She finished 3rd in a minor stake last time. But the 3rd place finisher, the horse Safine, actually in 2023 has won an ungraded stake at Horseshoe at Indy, and 2 starts after that won the Pucker Up, which is a grade 3 at Churchill Downs on the grass. So I'm banking on the fact that last race was just, okay, 5 furlong race, just got a race into the horse. They protected the horse. They didn't put him up for sale. Obviously, he didn't run very much at all. But again, this is, two turns off second start off a layoff, and Victoria Oliver is obviously very good at that. With that, again, 5.15 ROI. So again, first time Lasix as well doesn't hurt the cause. And Javier Castellano, who obviously is having a surgent year, 2023, gets in the saddle. So I'll take 20-1 if I can get it. Heck, 40, whatever the price is. I'm definitely Up to Something.
Well, you're not going to get that much elaboration out of me on this particular one, but I did not go with the favorite in this particular race. I went with the horse named Galilei, I believe it is, trained by Michael Trombetta and ridden by Horacio Caramanos. I do know Caramanos, and obviously Michael Trombetta. Looks like he's actually having a sensational meet right now, at least at this place. And the horse, as you see there, comes out of one like a smaller stakes race that was here at Colonial Downs. So this is a little bit of my angle of I do like the local guys, I do like the local kids and like that. This horse is successful here at Colonial Downs, 2 out of 3. On the turf has won, the 2 out of 8. are the only two races the horses ever won, and they were both at this exact same distance. If I get my highlighter to work correctly there, and so I'm kind of playing the odds as far as that's concerned. And again, I do like the fact that the horse won, a minor stakes race. It looks like it was about $125,000 here at Colonial Downs in that last race in a 7-horse field. So a little bit of a drop in class coming in here. Again, you have Michael Trombetta, who again hitting at 30% right now at this point in time. It looks like him and Karamanos to hit 25% together. Very small sample size. So I'm on the 8, Galilee. Steve.
All right. Well, Joe, I'm gonna call your 20-1 and raise you.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going with the
Well,
7 at 30-1, Winter Princess.
Winter Princess. Wow.
uh, yeah, she gets an upgrade in jockey with Tyler Gaffleone aboard. One last race out had a nice speed figure for this
Yeah.
race. The trainers got 3 wins at the meet, 6 races, so must be bringing some quality. So
Yeah.
and the horses got a win at the distance and 3 wins on the turf. So at 30-1, I'm gonna see if I can get a winning streak going here. I'm taking Winter Princess.
Okay, Ray, are you gonna call him? You all in? What's the next? What
uh,
is there
Ray's
any
on the
I'm,
trot.
is there anything left that's higher? Is there another higher
I'm,
odds horse?
I'm, I'm
There's
fold.
nobody
Yeah,
left.
yeah. I'm going for 99-1.
Yeah,
I'm folding, man.
Cha Cha Mission.
Um,
Steve and I both have
no,
2-7 offsuits.
I,
You're right.
Yeah, I'm looking.
uh,
Yeah,
I settled on a decent price horse. Number 4, Watch This Birdie, five to
okay,
one.
there we go.
But just because she did something last time for the first time, and actually the trainers, I guess, what do you call it? Desire to go 2 turns actually worked, and she won. So, you know, sprinting at different paces, whatever, and she wasn't doing too well sprinting. Although she was in the race, half the time showing speed. But the last time, as you can see, Chaminade rated her, and she finished well, and she won, and it caught everybody by surprise at 8-1. So hopefully that might be the trend for her going forward, and to be a distance horse, and you know facing winners for the first time is kind of difficult, but in a field like this, only horses only won one time other than that, so she's pretty much in the same category. So
Yeah, that's not a huge deal.
so I took a shot and watched this birdie. And I think there's gonna be a lot of pace in this race and a lot of speed on the outside, you know. And like Joe said, it looks like I like what he said about the post position. So they seem to, numbers don't lie, So if the track has turns, whatever, maybe it's best to be on the inside. So I'll kind of dodge to the inside and I just hope that my horse don't run into the traffic jam of the 405 for you guys. But
Oh no, the
let's see
15
what
is much
happens.
worse than the 405 ever was.
You
You
can't
kidding me?
change lanes at that point. So let's see how the race goes. It's somebody's got to win. So, but I hope for one of your long shots is I always include your guys' horses in my pick four. So
Me too. That checks the hell out again.
I I spread it around and take your guys' opinions and let's hit the big one. Especially singling Didier,
As long as
right?
you don't blame us when they lose.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
All right, you guys. Take it.
And Ray, I'm going to tell you, numbers
We
do
got a
lie.
$2 better.
Ask,
Happy $2. Oh,
ask the San Diego Padres that numbers don't lie.
Ugh, ouch.
what happened?
Numbers lie.
Oh, numbers like
Padres,
yeah.
the Padres
Hey,
have a run
Mariners have won
differential of
7 in a
like plus
row.
60, and they're like 5 games under 500. They're
Oh,
closer to the Mets than they are to the playoffs. So don't tell me
okay.
numbers don't lie. They lie.
Well, I'm watching minor league baseball now, so I'm very happy. It's entertaining me.
You guys take
Triple
Yeah,
A.
but minor league baseball, but paying major league prices. Good luck with that.
No,
just take a look at your
I pay
take a
for
look.
my house.
Take,
Free.
just let me know that I got
6594. There you go.
Yeah,
did I get
my
your
picks
picks?
are my picks
Yeah,
are correct.
everybody's correct. All right, let me go ahead and stop this, and
Yep.
I'll go ahead and we'll wrap this up, and then
And I must say, I've been to Virginia Beach, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8 times in my life. A frequent vacation spots for me. And I do pass Colonial Downs exit, and I've always wanted to stop in. Just
that's
it's,
my my colleague.
it's right
I
on
work
Route 64. Yeah, you're right. Halfway between Richmond and
in
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg. Yeah,
Yeah,
he lives in suburban Richmond,
Route 64. Yeah,
and he said it's like 15, 20 minutes. And
yeah,
he's gone a couple of times for work events and has no
mm,
idea, but I do have a colleague, so hopefully one day maybe I'll, for my company, maybe I'll get a
yeah.
chance to travel out there when it's open, and I'll get an enjoyable trip. All right, do we have anything we want to share before we go ahead and wrap this one up for this week?
Sure. Post time is 5:14
Oh,
Eastern,
yeah, I forgot.
2:14 Pacific. Rich, I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody's aware. Is there a guaranteed pool for this pick four?
I am not sure.
I
I'm
don't
not-
see it on my. I didn't see it on my PPs, and I'm guessing maybe not. But I was just wondering if it's allowed. If anybody
Doesn't
knew.
say. It says 50 cents.
Yeah. No. I know sometimes they'll indicate a guaranteed pool, but with the three, I mean, it is a tough sequence.
It was.
I would tread lightly.
Yep. All right. All right. For those who are interested, next week we will be back at Saratoga Racetrack. It's the Alabama Stakes. I believe it's also Lake Placid. So we'll be back on the East Coast out there. And that's going to do it for this week. That's how we do our pick four sequence. We will exchange picks if there's any scratches or if there's any problems tomorrow like that. We exchange via text message, and the spreadsheet gets updated. It goes out there via my Twitter feed. It's also on Facebook.com. So if you're friends with any of these gentlemen, you will actually see it get posted in the morning. That's going to do it. For Steve Newsom and Joe English and Ray Torado, my name is Rich Sharp. Our show's called Tournament Horse Racing. Good night, everybody, and good luck.
Good
Thanks,
luck.
man.